And perfect. Then we're going to kick off. Everyone, we made it work. Thank you all for joining us from wherever you are this evening. We're doing it a little bit of a different time, a little bit later today, because we have the wonderful team from Included here. They're calling in from the West Coast USA, so that's why we've got this time today. We have Raghu, he is CEO of Included. Welcome. And Laura, she is the Chief Business Development Officer of Included. Also, welcome. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you, Jessie. Thank you, Kaylie.
And Kaylie is Director of People at Checkly. She is one of my, I'm going to say she's a friend, but she's also in my, HR community network here in Germany. We've met, I think, over a year ago now. Is that right? Feels
A
like a
year and a
while.
half or something.
Yeah, it's been a while. And Kaylie has, she's, one of a small team, I'm going to say, in People, right? Also a small company, and it's always a challenge when you're alone to like get everything done. So that's why I thought she's a perfect person to join for this kind of tool where I feel like it just amplifies your ability to do things that you maybe couldn't do otherwise. So thank you so much for being co-host.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Me too. I'm actually really excited to see this tool because Laura and I connected maybe like 6 months ago when they joined up on Stacked, and I saw a little bit about the tool, but I think things have progressed since then. So I'm really excited to see what's changed, what's going on, and share it with everyone here. So we're going to kick off, and maybe Laura, you want to tell us a little bit about what Included is for people who don't know what it is.
Yeah, of course. Jessie, thanks so much for having us on. We're big fans of Stacked. You've built something really incredible with your HR tech marketplace, and it's been really fun watching you in action and watching your company grow and your, market thesis expand too. So way to go for you. It's a mutual appreciation society. Yeah.
It's very kind.
So Included is a very interesting product because we are the first agentic AI solution for people data, for people analytics, for the HR teams across the world who are looking to have instant AI-driven support through all their level 1 analysis tasks that help the whole company become, data-driven when it comes to their people. And the story is actually that our team really built with AI at the core starting in 2020. Before even, the big ChatGPT shift happened that invited all of us to say, hey, I need AI. We've been at it and we've been finessing and refining an incredibly delightful experience that both leaders and HR teams really love to use and is native to the daily workflows and really helps us move from, that old-fashioned model where there's a team of one or many that really bottleneck HR reporting when it comes to data analytics. It's hard, it's slow, it can be back and forth for a long time. And our solution has helped dozens of customers unblock that old-fashioned bottleneck and get to sort of a 2025 fast and delightful AI-driven pinpointed set of insights where we can know where to take action. And that's really the story of Included. And we're just so happy to be here today.
I love it.
Cool. I'm curious to see what this looks like. Our people KPI or data right now is a database on Notion where we pull everything together. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, so just to add to what Laura mentioned. So hi everybody, Raghu Gollamudi, co-founder CEO of Included. Again, nice to be on this live aspect, Jessie, and thanks a lot for that. So as Laura mentioned, right, so most of the time our ICP, essentially there are people ops leaders, so HR ops, talent ops, so they are the people who are in charge of managing the HR tech systems and making sure that it's operationally working. And also they're being overburdened with data now. So they know and they understand the technology. So they're like, hey, give me reports from those systems. And the systems are disconnected. Now, these are the folks now, they're spending their time in figuring out how to extract data from all of these systems manually, how to make sense of it, and how to build metrics on top of it, because HR might say, I want trailing 12 months, or I just want my attrition rate month over month. And business or finance might come and say, I want to know trailing 12 months attrition rate. So now already there are multiple different flavors of these kind of metrics. Now somebody has to build all those things and now present them. So that is just to get to the metric value. Now, when you give the metric, now the next question that comes up is, why is it good or bad? Now somebody has to do the analysis piece. Now the burden of the analysis today is manually done by HR folks again. And the analysis quality depends on how much time they're spending. If they were given like 1 hour to do the analysis and provide a result, the quality of that is going to be whatever that 1 hour they can accomplish within that 1 hour. That's what we solve with Included. So we take care of all the grunt work. Those are basics 101. We extract data through APIs. We take care of creating all those metrics. So out of the box, we have around 3,000 metrics out of the box. So what that means is that most of the flavors of the metrics that your organization is looking for, 90% of the time, they are already in our platform. So time to value is something that we pride about. The next thing is once the metric is there, the follow-up questions, which is analysis, we also take care of that piece. So you think Included as your analyst agent, right? Your buddy. This buddy is answering all the questions that you never even thought about asking. So you can just ask in a platform, hey, what is my trailing 12-month attrition rate? It's going to give you that metric and also is going to tell you more. It is this because we are seeing more attrition happening in these regions or in these particular levels or between these demographic segments. So we slice and cut through all these different layers and we apply our advanced statistical models. And then we look at all the trends, we uncover trends, and we show those trends up to you like insights.
Thank you all for joining us from wherever you are this evening. We're doing it a little bit of a different time, a little bit later today, because we have the wonderful team from Included here. They're calling in from the West Coast USA, so that's why we've got this time today. We have Raghu, he is CEO of Included. Welcome. And Laura, she is the Chief Business Development Officer of Included. Also, welcome. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you, Jessie. Thank you, Kaylie.
And Kaylie is Director of People at Checkly. She is one of my, I'm going to say she's a friend, but she's also in my, HR community network here in Germany. We've met, I think, over a year ago now. Is that right? Feels like
a year
while.
and a half or something.
Yeah, it's been a while. And Kaylie she's one of a small team, I'm going to say, in People, right? Also a small company, and it's always a challenge when you're alone to like get everything done. So that's why I thought she's a perfect person to join for this kind of tool where I feel like it just amplifies your ability to do things that you maybe couldn't do otherwise. So thank you so much for being co-host.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Me too. I'm actually really excited to see this tool because Laura and I connected maybe like 6 months ago when they joined up on Stacked, and I saw a little bit about the tool, but I think things have progressed since then. So I'm really excited to see what's changed, what's going on, and share it with everyone here. So we're going to kick off, and maybe Laura, you want to tell us a little bit about what Included is for people who don't know what it is.
Yeah, of course. Jessie, thanks so much for having us on. We're big fans of Stacked. You've built something really incredible with your HR tech marketplace, and it's been really fun watching you in action and watching your company grow and your, market thesis expand too. So way to go for you. It's a mutual appreciation society. Yeah.
It's very kind.
So Included is a very interesting product because we are the first agentic AI solution for people data, for people analytics, for the HR teams across the world who are looking to have instant AI-driven support through all their level 1 analysis tasks that help the whole company become, data-driven when it comes to their people. And the story is actually that our team really built with AI at the core starting in 2020. Before even, the big ChatGPT shift happened that invited all of us to say, hey, I need AI. We've been at it and we've been finessing and refining an incredibly delightful experience that both leaders and HR teams really love to use and is native to the daily workflows and really helps us move from, that old-fashioned model where there's a team of one or many that really bottleneck HR reporting when it comes to data analytics. It's hard, it's slow. It can be back and forth for a long time. And our solution has helped dozens of customers unblock that old-fashioned bottleneck and get to sort of a 2025 fast and delightful AI-driven pinpointed set of insights where we can know where to take action. And that's really the story of Included. And we're just so happy to be here today.
I love it.
Well, I'm curious to see what this looks like. People KPI or data right now is a database on Notion where we pull everything together. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So just to add to what Laura mentioned. So hi, everybody. So you have included again. Nice to be on this live aspect, Jessie, and thanks a lot for that. Uh, as Laura mentioned, right? So most of the time, our ICP essentially there are people ops leaders, so HR ops, talent ops. So they are the people who are in charge of managing the tech, HR tech systems, and making sure that it's operationally working. And also, they're being overburdened with data now, so they know and they understand the technology. So they're like, hey, give me reports from those systems, and the systems are disconnected. Now, these are the folks now they're spending their time in figuring out how to extract data from all of these systems manually, how to make sense of it, and how to build metrics on top of it. Because HR might say, I want trailing 12 months, or just want my attrition rate month over month. And business or finance might come and say, I want to know trailing 12 months attrition rate. So now already there are multiple different flavors of these kind of metrics. Now somebody has to build all those things and now present them. So that is just to get to the metric value. Now, when you give the metric, now the next question that comes up is, why is it good or bad? Now somebody has to do the analysis piece. Now the burden of the analysis today is manually done by HR folks again. And the analysis quality depends on how much time they're spending. If they were given like 1 hour to do the analysis and provide a result, the quality of that is going to be whatever that 1 hour they can accomplish within that 1 hour. That's what we solve with Includer. So we take care of all the grunt work. Those are basics 101. We extract data through APIs. We take care of creating all those metrics. So out of the box, we have around 3,000 metrics out of the box. So what it means is that most of the flavors of the metrics that your organization is looking for, 90% of the time, they are already in our platform. So time to value is something that we pride about. The next thing is, once the metric is there, the follow-up questions, which is analysis, we also take care of that piece. So you think Included as your analyst agent, right? Your buddy. This buddy is answering all the questions that you never even thought about asking. So you can just ask in a platform, hey, what is my trailing 12-month attrition rate? It's going to give you that metric, and also is going to tell you more. It is this because we are seeing more attrition happening in these regions or in these particular levels or between these demographic segments. So we slice and cut through all these different layers, and we apply our advanced statistical models, essentially a PhD level model that we apply. And then we look at all the trends, we uncover trends, and we show those trends up to you like insights. So that is a cool thing. And all these things happen in less than like a minute.
Can I ask around integrations then? Because obviously the data has to come from somewhere. Maybe you're going to touch on this anyway, but in terms of integrations, do you have how does it work? What's out of the box? What's difficult about that? Because that's always the question, right? Like, if you guys are doing a lot of the work on data, but where's the data sitting?
Yeah, absolutely. And that is the biggest challenge with HR folks, because HR stack is fragmented, right? You have your recruitment or ATS systems, you have your HRMS system, engagement systems, performance management system. So it's all fragmented. And if you're doing calibration, all the good stuff, that might be sitting in an Excel sheet somewhere. So now you need to bring that in too. So that's something that we realized. And what we did is we have built APIs to all of these systems out of the box. So we have access to like your top 10 HR systems out there, Workday, Rippling, HiBob, you name it, right? So we connect all the systems and we're able to extract the data automatically. Same thing goes with your ATS or application tracking system. We are able to connect to Greenhouse automatically. We're able to connect to Lever and all the other systems out there. And we're able to bring all the systems automatically together, the data automatically into our platform. So that is the core. Everything is done automatically, so you don't need to there's no manual intervention required when we get implemented in our customer environments.
I have so many more questions, but before I jump in, I want you to get your screen up when you're ready and start giving us a little bit of a show. But I definitely have some questions. Kaylie's probably got some too. Maybe while you're getting it up, can I ask about data quality and how you manage that?
Yeah, so data quality, that is the biggest concern our customers have, is data quality. And what we do there is we have a lightweight ML module that looks into the data, the raw data when we're extracting from the systems, and we're able to auto-correct those data points. So what I mean by that is that when the data is inaccurate, we correct it. When the data is empty, we know what to fill in the data. So we do that automatically. And what it means is that we bring in like a 90% lift. So 90% accuracy is there, and 10% is where there's a human in the loop who comes in, they would check in and see the places where we did not do it correctly, they would fix it, or the places where we could not actually do the mapping correctly, they would go and fix that there. So that's how we improve the quality automatically in our platform. Was it helpful?
Yeah, that's good. I feel like I mean, having been responsible for people analytics a number of times in my career, I always struggled to have the cleanliness of data and enough data that was accurate to get enough insights where you felt, okay, like this, how happy am I that this data is like going to show us some useful insights, right? Like, was it clean enough to give us something? Because not everything's going to be perfect, and I believe in directional indication too. Like, not it doesn't all have to be there, but it's always the challenge, and I think it's always the time-consuming task that I struggled with was keeping it clean, like not just doing the one-off. Because I don't know, Kaylie, if you've done this before, like the one-off clean, where you're like, let's just clean everything, and then like a week later, you're like, it's not clean anymore.
Yeah.
In fact, keeping the data 100% clean is one of I would say that's a negative thing towards progress, right? Because you need to be directionally correct. That's the most important aspect, right? And accuracy is critical. I'm not challenging on accuracy, but being directionally correct also is very important. So if you look at the maturity curve, even though the data is not clean, there are tools like Included that can show you directionally how things are trending. And with our insights, usually that's when the HR ops people would go and start cleaning the data, looking at Included's insights. They realize that, Included is not able to predict because our data is not clean here. Let's go and work on that piece, right? So we help them prioritize, because if you're going to, otherwise you're going to boil the ocean in trying to get everything right. So goal is how do you prioritize the cleanup of data too, and that's where Included comes handy. I'm hoping that you're all able to see my screen. And one of the core aspects that we are working right now with Included is conversational analytics. So we believe that democratization of data and insights is important within HR and business stakeholders, because whatever data and insights that the people analytics team is building or the HR ops teams are building, it's for business. So it's very critical to make sure that business is able to understand those metrics, understand the insights, and they should have the power to go and self-serve it, as opposed to constantly bugging the people analytics team or the HR ops team to give more data and more reports. So that was our goal, and that's what I want to see in our conversational analytics, how we're enabling that and how we are driving adoption. So we have multiple modules in our platform. I'm not going to skim through them, but I'm going to dive directly into our AI agent. So our AI agent essentially is a conversational agent. And here, just like ChatGPT, you can ask questions. And you don't need to be a power user. You can formulate the question the way you want to formulate, and our agent knows how to now take that and break it down into break it down as a people analyst and provide an answer for that. And that's what I'm going to see here. So the question can be, what is the trailing? I wanted to type the error and also show you how the platform works, but I'll just keep it easy this time. So what is the trailing 12 months attrition rate? So for this question to get answered without Included, what would it mean is that I will need to open my Tableau. I need to figure out how to go to the right module in Tableau. I need to figure out how do I find my trailing 12-month attrition rate metric in the list of metrics out there, and you drag that in, and I need to create that whole thing. Everything is gone with Included. In Included, you can just ask a question in natural language, and we are just not giving you the top line number, which is 20.6%. We're also giving you a graph, and we're also giving a narration. So the beauty here is that you can just copy this narration and send it out to the business stakeholders asking for this information, right? So we are looking into departure types. We are able to tell that, hey, voluntary departures is at 30.2%. You never asked that question. I never asked this question here in the chatbot. I just said, just give me what is my trailing 12 months. The platform is able to now understand the context of the question, is able to look at different slices of that metric, and is able to present that right here. So essentially, we're saying that your voluntary is at 13.2 compared to involuntary at 6.8. Your non-regulated is at 18%, whereas your regulated is 5%. So everything is presented neatly in one place. And the question always that comes up when I do this demo is, I don't trust your metrics. Show me the data behind this. So that's when we have citations that says, how did we even get to this narration? How did the chatbot even respond with this kind of an answer, right? So this is what the chatbot executed in the backend. The chatbot went to the platform and said, give me what is my trailing tone of that attrition. And the platform did all this analysis on your behalf in real time. So everything is happening. And if you see, this whole response came in seconds. That's because we built a kick-ass backend platform that's, we're all big data engineers. So we figured out what is the storage structure that needs to be to answer these kind of, to do analysis and answer these kind of complex questions. And that's what you're seeing. You're saying that Germany is where we're seeing the highest attrition, and we're seeing in L0 is where we're seeing the next highest attrition in levels. So we don't show everything. We only show what matters for the business leader or the HRBP or the end user in the organization. And anytime, go ahead.
Sorry, I've got a question here. I mean, first of all, it's very impressive. It was very fast for going through all of these things.
Thank you.
Can I also ask this bot or this agent whether that's a good number or not? Like, is this normal within my industry? Should we be worried? Should we be doing something about this? Yeah.
Yes. So answer is yes. So this can be done in two ways. So usually what happens is that we do not have, right now we are not bringing in any industry specific data into our platform. So when we work with a customer, they are the people who give us that data points, and then we ingest that as benchmarks into our platform, and then we are able to compare that. So the reason why we did not go that route is because many companies in our portfolio, they all are doing already good job in the attrition rate. So now they need to benchmark against their peers within the business leaders, right? Saying that, hey, engineering's attrition rate is 18%, whereas sales is at 15%. So let's figure out how to benchmark against sales and bring it down. So different organizations look at benchmarks differently. So that's why we created the capability, and we work with organizations to understand what benchmark they're looking for, and then we can ingest into a platform and do that piece here. Perfect. And any other questions before I go into the citations here?
I mean, you'll probably get to it. But for me, it was always, it's nice that I can, as a business leader, I can go in and get this thing and I can ask a very specific question. But what happens if you want like a very specific combination of graphs or dashboards or something? Is that something else? So maybe you're going to get to it. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Yeah, so there are multiple experiences. Jesse, great question, right? There are multiple experiences. One is a chat experience, and the next can be like, I want to see multiple metrics in one place, like a dashboardy style experience, and I want to know the insights for the dashboard. Now that can be a different scenario. So I'm going to show that in the demo soon.
Awesome.
The next, so let me talk about the chart here, because this chart is amazing. So when you're seeing this chart here, it's just showing you a line and it's giving you different points in time. And I want to know what's happening here. When I click here, what's going to do, what the system is doing is it opens up a panel on the right-hand side and it's showing you the insights in real time. So all the things that you saw citation, that's nothing but an insights that are getting generated in real time here.
That's very cool.
So we're able to show that where the issues are, where we're uncovering issues. We're also able to tell you who are the employees who are at risk of attrition. It understands the context. The context here is attrition. So it knows that for this context, I need to bring up my risk model that it's predicted. And it's telling that there are 481 employees at risk of attrition. And it is telling that some more trending highlights. So we do essentially a statistical modeling is you do multiple kinds of analysis. You do jump analysis, you do trend analysis, you do slope comparison analysis. So I don't want to get too geeky here, but all these things get encompassed into this, and all these things are getting executed. And that's why you're able to get this kind of rich insights. So now you as an HRBP or you as a people analyst leader can decide what insights make sense for the organization and surface that up to the business leaders. Right? That's the key thing. Customize it for what the business leaders want.
Crazy, so that's good. I mean, I can just, that's just so much time saved. I feel like data work is one of the places where AI is good with, right? Like that's what AI is good at, taking data in, making sense of it faster than what we could do ourselves, and making maybe sense of things that we didn't even think of, right? Bringing things together.
I'll caveat that, sorry for interjecting, because AI does not do it automatically. Somebody has to build those models, right? So LLMs are LLM. No, the reason is there is a misconception that this data is getting sent to LLMs. So it's not getting sent to it because that's privacy issue, right? We can't send a security issue, sending our data to a customer's data into a public LLM to do the work. So what we do here is that we call it as an ensemble AI. So what that means is that we have our own models that does crunch and does this work and produces insights. And where LLM kicks in is this place. So we take all the insights and then the LLM kicks in and says, I'm going to take these insights and I'm going to make it conversational, make it easy for somebody to understand. So that's where the LLM comes in, not the data itself. So our data is not being sent outside the firewall and everything is calculated internally.
Yeah.
Add one piece
Good.
here, which is I'm really interested in an emerging framework for how we evaluate whether AI tools are worth the investment, right? And at the really early days of AI tooling, which we're a little bit still in, there's been a lot of emphasis on time saved, which is great. Everybody loves time saved. But now there's new questions like, did the work quality improve? Do we have better outcomes now with our AI application? And what our customers are finding and really excited about is if you do a side by side of the data insights from the people data set, how we were reporting it out, what information we were delivering, what level of precision we were able to get, and what the story was. It's improved with the included AI solution because we're able to target immediate hotspots and highlight the areas to take action. Whereas before, and everybody knows this story, what we had was less precise information and a lot of he said, she said, a lot of debating, a lot of back and forth. And so we're really excited to be delivering that breakthrough in accuracy.
I think that's the value add, right? Like that's what I was getting at, that what you can do with your tool so much faster now than, and also discover more of the insights than potentially someone even has time to get, or do you know what I mean? Like the quality output is just going to be higher. And I think that's having done this before and like been freaking out, let's just say losing my hair, trying to like get insights that people want in the cut of the data that they wanted it in, was just a nightmare. So I'm just like, where was this in my life like 5 years ago? Wait, it didn't exist, but now it does. So really happy to see that it exists now.
Absolutely. And one last thing I wanted to show you is talk about how our charts work like essentially like a time machine. So now if I see here, I've seen a bump in attrition rate. I can click here. Again, the system in real time. This is essentially, I'm looking what happened in February of 2025, not today, February, right? So usually to get the request done, the HRBP or the business leader would send a request to the people analyst. The people analyst now go into February 2025, understand who the employees are, and then try to calculate it and now do the analysis on that. It is major time consuming and time draining task. We are able to do that in a matter of seconds, right? So it's like a time machine. So the beauty here is the way our customers look at this is that, hey, we came up with a strategy in 2025 in February to reduce the attrition rate. Is it actually working? Right. So the strategy was, we are seeing Germany being high. Now, is it reducing now? Because the strategy was to reduce in Germany, right? So that's how they look at it. And the insights is helping them understand whether that strategy is working or not. So we are essentially a monitoring system. We are monitoring it. We're telling what's going well and what's not going well. And they can now look at the timeline and see, this is a strategy we implemented at this time, T1. What is happening in time T2? Is it working or not?
Is that something that I can like actually put into the platform? Like in February 2025, we implemented this thing, or is that something that I have to keep in the back of my head?
So usually the strategy is not part of included, but the way we're going with this chatbot is exactly that, right? The conversational analytics is that, saying that, hey, in February we had a retention plan for employees in Germany. Did that work? So now we have the insights. Now that's where the LLM kicks in. LLM kicks in and says, okay, you implemented something, but the insight still says that Germany is at 67%, so it didn't change. So I don't think your strategy really worked. Right? So that's where the LLM piece kicks in. So that's the beauty of it. So it's a mix of what we have and enhance that with prompt engineering to see whether to get these kind of outliers that that are specific niche kind of requirements that you're looking for. And that's what the conversational analytics help you with. Perfect. And the other question we always get is, okay, I want to know who are the employees who left, right? Again, trusting the data is always the biggest challenge initially when they use included. So that's why we have this view corresponding employees. You click on that, it shows you exactly who those employees are. One click, you get access to that.
So it shows you like source data so fast.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's the value, right? So you build trust also fast. So if you look at the adoption of a platform, the way it happens is that initially we would see more clicks to the reports. That's essentially when you click into it, you go into a report. So we see more usage in the report, but as and when the trust builds, the number of clicks reduces. And they're happy with just the chatbot and the insights that we're providing. Perfect. Any other questions before I show the other one more feature, which is our dashboard?
No, I'd love to see dashboards. We've got about 5 minutes, so let's do it.
Let's move fast. Awesome. So this is our dashboards, and we have tons of dashboards as part of our product. So there's templates that our customers have used, and there's that you can also benefit from, our new customers can benefit from. So what you're seeing here is essentially, we call it stories and not dashboards on the platform. And a story is nothing but a mix of narration and visuals, that is aka metrics. So what you're seeing here is chapters, which is the employee life cycle. You have summary, hiring, how's are people growing within the organization, what's happening with learning and development, compensation, diversity, equity, and inclusion, attrition, and commentary. I'll jump into the commentary soon. So the key differentiation between our dashboard, our stories, and our other vendors in Tableau and Power BI is that those are all static. So what it means is that you're going to get a metric and done. You can't change it. And if you want to change it, you got to go to the people analyst and they got to figure out to create a different metric. Or if you want to get more information on a given metric, same thing. You got to go to the people analyst. With included, if you see a metric, let's say attrition, you can click into that. The same pattern that you saw in the chatbot is carried over here. You click into the metric, you get more insights. And if you want, and if a business leader is looking at this particular metric and they want to say, okay, I need to know what's happening by levels. Why is my level attrition so high, L0 so high? They can click into that. They go into a different experience that is showing you what that breakdown looks like, and they can get more insights. So it's curiosity. As you're curious, you can drive your curiosity and go one click deeper and one click deeper to get to the source truth of why it's happening and what's going on. Right? That's the power of the platform. So and that's what our customers love, is because they don't need to, oh, I got for some reason disconnected. So let me connect to Okta again. Sorry about that.
It's the demo box for you.
Sorry.
And we are single sign-on enabled. That's what you're seeing here. So it's
Okay.
passwordless, so we are secured, 100% secured.
Nice.
So the business leader or the HR leader can satisfy the curiosity by clicking through the dashboard into different artifacts to satisfy their needs on the analysis piece. At the same time, let me go back to the dashboard. At the same time, you also see this text. Like this is where HR BPs and HR operations and people analytics folks spend most of the time, is how do I create a story out of this, right? Because just throwing out some numbers there is not going to be helpful. So what we have done at Included is help with that story creation. So what we do is in the analytical commentary, I'm showing an example here where let's assume that you're talking to a business leader, engineering leader, and they're interested in starts, attrition, and headcount. These are 3 metrics they're interested in. You can go into a platform and say generate commentary. So the platform in real time is generating all the commentary for those metrics. So it is observing, it is doing analysis, it is giving all the, it is essentially all the insights are being generated by the platform, which is our statistical model AIs. And then once the the insights are generated, the LLM kicks in, and now it's trying to beautify that. Its goal is to beautify it, similar to what you saw in the other design. So same design is carried over here too. And the output of that is what you're seeing here, is that story or the commentary that you can just embed into the dashboard and share it across. And every link's applicable. So the way, this is for you, Kaylie, the way usually our HR folks use is they replace this here. And then they say, okay, the reason why we're seeing more growth in Canada is because that was a strategy in Q2, is to grow in Canada, right? So that's where they come in here and they edit it. and say the strategy was this. And once they put in the strategy, they can save it, and now they can share that across the business leaders. So you don't need to, the context of what included is generated with strategy makes it easy for the end user to understand what is implemented and is that something working or not.
So you've basically, it'll do 99% of the legwork, and you can go in and
Yes.
do your human in the loop, your double check, make sure it has any specifics that it wouldn't particularly know, like we did this special thing and that's why that number makes sense and whatever bit. I mean, I think it's important also that people know that you don't just click a button and you press go and send it. Like, this stuff should be looked at, it should be digested. I think that's something that people are potentially skipping when they see tools like this. They're like, great, I can just do everything, I'll just click it and send it. But for me, especially, anything that pops out of any kind of tool, I'm always, looking at it, I'm reading through it, I'm understanding the context, I'm digesting what it's saying to make sure I'm happy with it. Like you said, people click further and further in more often, they look deeper in the data more often, and then as they start to trust it, they, maybe click less. But I think definitely good that you have this recommendation, obviously, to check what it's doing. Check what it's doing. Don't let it loose on its own.
Yeah, so we include as an enabler, right? So we're an enabler for HR and business leaders so they can read it. But eventually, Jessie, to your point, what you're saying is we want to be at that place where they trust it, we are doing everything right, and they just say click it and send it, right? So that's what is democratization, right? So the reason why today people analysts, analytic platforms are not shared across is not trusting the data and the metrics, right? So the minute you share something to a business leader, they will look at it and say, I don't trust this metric. Your metric is wrong, right?
I've been there. I've been there.
I've got a question. So you mentioned in the beginning, I think like thousands of different metrics you have in here, kind of like by default, right? In a story like this, can I pull something in that makes sense for me, or do I need to go somewhere else to?
Oh yeah, you can pull. So I just wanted to show you what those thousands of metrics look like. Let's say that I have attrition is one of the metrics. So you see here, these are all the metrics we have out of the box. And within one metric, you have flavors of those different flavors of the metrics, right? And all of these things can be pulled into the dashboard.
So it's kind of like drag and drop, or how does it? You just
It's a drag
click
and drop kind of thing.
And does it, and the display of the, like, this is, sorry, we're gonna be done soon, but the display of this of your graphs, is that a choice, or is it like set, or can you?
Oh, it is a choice. So let's say that this is what I see here. Let me just select something different here by type, and when I do this, it'll say, hey, what kind of graphs you want? You can change.
I like it.
Can I also add a goal? Like if I say my EMPS is 44, I want it to be at least 50. Can that be visualized?
Yeah, and you'll see that. Yeah, you'll see a line that shows how you're doing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And can you customize the color? I know it sounds really ridiculous, but can you change the color? Yeah.
Yeah, it's we can. It's just we do it by. It's not out of the box. It's not self-service. So you will work with us. So again, right, as I said, our focus has been predominantly on agentic AI and conversational, and we are betting that the need for visuals and everything will start reducing more and more.
Yeah.
And it's going to be more. So that's where the focus is. But having said that, when we onboard a customer and they want some special color schemes, yes, they can change it.
That's cool. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but a lot of people just like to have their like blue when they see, when you're doing like an investor report and you're putting a graph in, like Kaylie, you said you do like investor, reporting, you want it to look your brands, all that kind of stuff.
100%. 100%. So the places where if you're not able to help there, what our customers generally do is they download that as a CSV.
Okay.
So this data set can be downloaded as CSV. Now you can make any graph and anything.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's all
flexible. Yeah.
Yeah. No, fantastic. Well, I think we unfortunately ran out of time. I feel like we could keep talking because this tool is fantastic. It's one of, I feel like I say this about all tools, but I really do love this use of AI. I feel like it's one of the really easy, obvious return on investment use cases in the HR space because it's something that we aren't doing now. So back to what you said, Laura, about like, it's not just about time saved, it's about quality of output. And it's something that I feel a lot of HR teams either don't do or rush through or don't have the skill set for. So it lacks the quality output in the end. And I've been there. I've been like shocked at horrified at my own work or my own outputs because I just didn't have the time or even sometimes the skill to get what I needed. So this just, like you said, democratizes it. It makes it accessible so you can actually do what you need to do with the data, which is make good business decisions. So I really, really enjoyed seeing this, and really appreciate you guys spending the time to show us.
Thank you.
Nailed it.
Thank you for having us on the show.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you. And as a final thing, everyone probably knows this if you watch this regularly. You can find out more about Included on Stacked, or you can also reach out directly to them. They're very, as you can see, very, very easy to talk to. They're happy to share anything you might need in terms of, you know, what the product does, any other things you have in terms of questions. And Kaylie, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate your time. And hopefully we can now encourage HR to jump in and look at people analytics tools as potential options, because I feel like it's something that everyone could get onto very easily. So that being said, we're going to close out. Thanks so much. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, Jessie.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.